Welcome in, I'm Artris, and in this video we're going to be going over Ace from OPO3, a leader that hasn't really been visited for quite some time, and honestly we're getting to the point of the meta where I think I'm just kind of experimenting with whatever I can. And at this point I was thinking, well, the animal package is pretty underexplored, and when it is explored we've seen it in Shanks, we've seen it in Chopper obviously, and some red-green law, but what about Ace? Like, what if it works in Ace? I know that doesn't really seem conventional. Ace usually plays mostly Whitebeard package, but I figured let's try it out and see how it works, because as you can tell, I'm getting to the point where there's just like the decks that we can go over are kind of running thin, right? We go over everything in OPO9. We try to cook a little bit here and there, and we're getting to the point where we're cooking. Before we go into the deck list, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and also give the video a thumbs up if you like it. It helps out the channel so much. Thank you all for the support. Additionally, if you'd like to talk about the One Piece card game outside of the YouTube comments, please make sure to join the Discord. The link for that is in the description below. So starting off, if you're unfamiliar with Ace, Ace obviously is a leader that's been out for quite some time, so maybe some people are unfamiliar just because you don't really see this leader being played too often. He is a mono red 5-life leader that says when this leader attacks or is being attacked, you may trash any number of event or stage cards from your hand. For each that you trashed, this leader gains 1,000 power during this battle. Historically, the way that you play this is you have a lot of Whitebeard pirates, you do have a fair amount of KO events, and that your top end is usually like the 9-cost Newgate, but there have been some new additions with like the starter decks that came out for Whitebeard because there are some good support cards here that we added in, and so I figured let's try to make a mix of Whitebeard pirates plus the animal package from OPO8. So starting off, we are running 4 of the Chopper blocker from EBO1. It is a Dawn ×2 when attacking. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 power during this battle. This card actually inspired me to think about what you could do with the other pieces of synergy in the deck because of the fact that it does minus 3,000 power, and Ace plays a lot of KO events that KO off of power. And I feel like this is probably the whole engine for the deck, or at least the catalyst for me thinking about how to build this deck overall. Then we're running 3 of the 7-cost Ace from OPO2. On play, give up to 2 of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 power during this turn. Then if your leader has Whitebeard pirates in its type, this character gains rush during the turn. So this will be able to trade into a lot of tapped bodies. If you already have a board established, you can trade into those bodies pretty easily with this card. I'm running 4 Ezo. This is your Whitebeard Pirates Searcher. So we are running playsets of Searchers here. We are running 4 Ezo. We're also running 4 Dr. Correa. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. It's an on-play look at the top 4 cards. So Ezo looks at the top 5 for Whitebeard. Dr. Correa looks at the top 4 for a Tony Chopper or a Drum Kingdom type card, other than this one. So we have a couple searchers because we're trying to at least increase the consistency of the pieces that we're trying to see in the course of a game. And of course, we wouldn't have the animal package without this card itself. Is the Tony Chopper, the 3-cost 5,000 power from OPO8 that says your turn on play and when attacking, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then from among them put up to 1 animal type character with a power of 4,000 or less as rested into play, then place the rest of the cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. So this also acts as like a searcher, but the searcher brings a card out onto the field, which is great because your opponent will likely try to attack into it, and that will distract them in the early to mid-game stages of the game that you're playing. Then I'm running 4 Hiking Bear. This is a 2k counter. It does have some effect that is useful at times, where it says Dawn ×1, activate main once per turn, give up to one of your animal type characters other than this character plus 1,000 power for this turn. So you can put 1 Dawn underneath it, and then it powers up one of your other animals, and you can also swing with this as well. This is a 2k counter that you're going to want to usually keep in hand if you have it, but if you can play it out with this Chopper, then I don't see why not. Then we're running 3 Robson. This is a Dawn ×2. This character gains Rush, also an animal, so it can be brought out by the Chopper. The big targets here that you're going to be trying to bring with this Chopper is this blocker Chopper, but it will bring out the Hiking Bear and the Robson. Robson's great because it does have pseudo Rush if you do put Dawn on it that same turn, that you can use this as a Rush character, so sometimes you can sneak in for some lethal scenarios with Robson. Then I'm running 4 of the 7-cost Newgate from the starter deck 15. I feel like this is a really great card for this deck. On play, give your leader or one of your characters up to 1 rested Dawn. Activate main, you may rest this character. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 5,000 power or less. So because we have quite a bit of power reduction, this will be able to hit that 5,000 power rather easily. So we do have the Chopper, we do have this Ace, we have a couple of events that we'll get to in a second that also reduce the power of characters. So you can hit the 5,000 power. Otherwise, this this is a pretty solid attacker. 8,000 power to swing into things is going to hit really hard. Hits like a truck, especially if you're going against things like red, purple, Luffy. This will be the magic number to swing into them. And of course, if you're swarming the board against red, purple, Luffy, that's a pretty good thing here. Obviously, I'm just targeting red, purple, Luffy here, but overall, this character is really strong in general. Then we're running 4 of the 2K counter Thatch from Starter Deck 15. This also has power reduction built into it. So on play, if your leader has the Whitebeard Pirates in its type, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power for the turn, then put the top card of your life into your hand. So there are scenarios where you will be starved out, like maybe against an Enel, and you can play this down and then take the top life and also get some extra value by minusing 2,000 power to something on the board. I'm running 3 of the Ace from Starter Deck 15. This is if your leader has the Whitebeard Pirates included in its type, this character gains Rush, and it has a great effect that says once per turn, if this character would be removed from play by one of your opponent's effects, instead you may give this character minus 2,000 power for the turn. So it's very sticky, and it has Rush within Ace. You see this card played a lot in Shanks, but the thing is, in Shanks, it doesn't have Rush, so it just sits there for a turn. But because it sits there for a turn, it's pretty much guaranteed to be able to swing. In Ace, you get immediate value off of it, and it's hard for the opponent to remove. I'm running 4 Shut Up and Come With Us, the counter event that is a pseudo searcher that says, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and put up to 1 cost 3 or less animal type character into play, then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So when your opponent attacks into you, typically you're going to try to leave 1 Dawn up if you have this in your hand, and then you use this effect to be able to cheat out a body so that you have something to swing with the following turn. Otherwise, this can be pitched for your leader effect because it is an event, so therefore it synergizes decently well with your leader. I'm running 2 Rad Beam. This is just a great defensive tool for the late stages of the game. It's not searchable, but when you do get it, it's pretty nice to have. I'm running 3 Flame Emperor. Ace is the only leader that can run this card, and it says if your leader is Ace, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 8,000 power or less, then your leader gains double attack and plus 3,000 power during this turn, and the trigger is somewhat relevant as well, KOing up to one of your opponent's characters with 6,000 power or less. This is one of the better cards in Ace. As you can see, our top end is a bunch of 7 costs, so we have the 7 cost Flame Emperor, 7 cost Newgate, and 7 cost Ace. So this is our epitome of top end here. This is a great card to just play on curve if you don't have really anything else to be doing with your Dawn, or maybe you don't want to play one of these bodies out quite yet. Playing out an Emperor and then KOing something on the opponent's side and then demanding either a couple of cards or taking 2 life is a very powerful effect overall. Running 2 Crossfire. Once again, this card is something that you don't run in anything else other than either Newgate or Ace. It's a main or counter. If your leader has Whitebeard Pirates in its type, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 4,000 power during this turn, and the triggers activate this card's main effect. So you can use it defensively only on characters. You can also use it offensively on characters as well. So it has great synergy here. This paired with the 7 cost Newgate, you can KO a 9,000 power body. Unfortunately, 10,000 is just out of range here, but otherwise this is a great card, but I don't want to run it too often. That's why I have 2 of them, and I think it's fine at 2. And then to wrap things up, we're running 2 of the Fire Fist events from OPO3. You may discard 1 event from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 5,000 power or less, and up to one of your opponent's characters with 4,000 power or less. And the trigger is also relevant, KOing an opponent's character with 5,000 power or less. So this is a great card to have if you do go against Doflamingo. Keep in mind, though, that this deck is not necessarily a meta deck. It's more so a deck just to have fun with, take into the sim and have some good games, maybe take it to a locals and enjoy yourself there. But if you do go to a local and it's very sweaty, you do have at least a couple of answers with Fire Fist to be able to answer the board that Doflamingo is creating. It answers a Teach and then whatever 5,000 power body you would like. And of course, you have power reduction to be able to bring things down within the 5,000 and 4,000 power range. Overall, I'm very surprised by just like a little bit of testing I've done with this deck because of the fact that the chopper package is just so annoyingly strong. Your opponent's not going to want these choppers to be on the board, and very quickly you can amass a 5 character board with just a couple of swings with choppers. So I feel like it's a fun deck to play. Like I said, not too serious overall, but it is very enjoyable. Let's take it into the sim and see how it does. All right, we're going to go against Teach. We love some lore accurate battles here. I'm not so sure about this hand though. I want to mulligan and see what else I can get. I like this hand a lot better. Thankfully, we got something quite powerful if we can get these choppers going, of course. I'm not expecting these choppers to have the on-play effects, but we do have the when attacking, so we have that to look forward to at least. So let's swing 5 at lead and then play out the chopper and see if we can get anything off the top. Unfortunately, we don't have anything here. It's unfortunate because they might have an answer to the chopper immediately. Usually, as you can see, they have like finger guns. They might have like the black hole to get rid of the chopper. So let's just hope for the best and see if this chopper survives this turn. Otherwise, if they, okay, it didn't. Black hole, surprise, surprise. But let's see if, this next one will be able to survive here. They have a black hole, so we're not going to play the chopper out quite yet. I think it's better to just play this ace because it does have rush, and that's very annoying for Blackbeard to have to deal with. Thankfully, they counter out here, and we will go ahead and swing 5, swing 6, and they take the 6 here. Now, I don't know if they have an easy answer to ace. They could like cost reduce it and then use like a black hole or even a finger pistol or finger gun. I can't quite remember what it is. That has an option to get rid of this card, pseudo get rid of. As you can see, they just used it, the finger gun. So I'm going to opt to reduce the power by 2,000 here and see if they swing in. I actually feel like I need to counter out of this one to keep it alive, to keep some pressure going, even if it means dumping my hand. Because they took their entire turn to try to get rid of it, I think it's important to keep this thing on the field for at least one more turn. So let's go ahead and swing 5. Actually, let's swing 7 with the ace first, just in case they have a trigger that like reduces the power, it KOs it and reduces the power, and then we'll swing 7 with our leader, and then we'll play out the chopper, and then we'll play out the Dr. Kureha, just as vanillas, so that we have them for the following turn. And I'm okay with this ace going down this next turn. He has done his job. And we also have this Flame Emperor as well, in case they decide to, I don't know, put a character on the side of their field. We can get rid of it pretty easily. They have another finger gun. That's 3 finger guns they've come across so far. Okay, so they got rid of the ace, and now what do they do? Ooh, Barto. Perfect for us. This is actually really good. We should be able to do the Flame Emperor on the Barto, swing in for 8. I don't think they should be able to counter out of this. And then we can swing in for 7 and then get 2 cards out of hand, or just maybe win the game here. Let's see what they do. Swing 7. 2 and a 1. Okay, so that's going to be really difficult for them. If they do play out the Newgate this turn, then, we do have the Dr. Kureha to be able to swing with. So they do have the Teach. They'll probably stop. Yep, they'll stop the 3-cost chopper. And now we just kind of divide our Dawn up. We can actually just swing 7 and see what they do. They didn't have any counter in hand, and that was actually quite an easy game thanks to the Flame Emperor, which if you're a fan of the manga, then it's very, very fitting that we use that here. Yamato is going to be an interesting one. We are a 5-life leader, so I don't feel too scared. The only time I'm going to be scared here is that if they have the Nami to give their leader Banish, like Banish double attack. I don't run too many 2Ks in this deck, so that's a problem. We'll swing 5, see if they take it, give us an easy counter, and then we'll play out the chopper, and yet again, we whiff. I mean, I feel like the ratios are fine. I just think it's a little bit unlucky that I've whiffed at least twice now with this chopper. We will go ahead and give them a 2K here because we don't want to take the 2. And they play Dureshi. Okay. I feel like they should have just swung 9 maybe and just put some pressure on here, but I'm okay with this. I'm not going to complain. Let's swing with the chopper first in case they have a KO trigger. We get a chopper blocker. Really good for us. What do they have? No trigger, thankfully. I feel like the chopper blocker here would be pretty good. So we're going to go and swing 5 and then play out this chopper blocker, and we're going to fake that we have a 1-cost event. We do have a Flame Emperor, so, Yamato has double attack. We're about to have double attack. I feel like our double attack is slightly better, though. 6 and a 4, that goes, and then we'll have this chopper up to get some value again. Getting a Hiking Bear, hey, it's something. We'll take it. That connects for 5? Okay, so unlucky, but what we'll do is we'll play out the Newgate instead, and we'll just KO the Nami. I was thinking about playing the Flame Emperor that turn, but because they stopped my leader from attacking, we can't really do that. If I were them this turn, okay, they have another Nami. That's actually pretty good for them. Yep, get rid of the chopper, and then they might want to swing maybe at the Hiking Bear. They also might want to swing at the Newgate if they're feeling like really cheeky, and I can't stop it either. I have no counter in hand. So if they swing at the Newgate, which they are going to, they pump up their leader by 3,000, and they'll swing 9 at 8. Really unlucky. If I had just a single 2K, we would have been fine, but we don't. So instead, we're going to punish them and swing 9 here. I don't think they're going to have enough counter, or if they do, they drop 3 cards from hand to prevent this attack from going through. And what does it feel like, Yamato? Get that double attack right back at you. So they did get a Frankie trigger. I don't think it's enough to kind of close out the game for them. Here they have to block her up, and if they block her up, I think we're going to be okay because we do have another Flame Emperor, another KO trigger here, or KO effect rather. They do play out a Sanji. That's fine for me. We could also potentially draw into a Fire Fist, which would be good to get rid of the Sanji here. We'll take the 7 and see what we get off of it. Okay, so we have a couple of options. Flame Emperor, to me, we actually could just do the Fire Fist. Might be better here, but we're gonna go ahead and just swing all out, use our leader effect, and pitch everything we have and swing 14. I think the math would have been maybe slightly less with the Fire Fist, so that was probably the better option here. Rosinante is going to be a very difficult one for us to go against because we don't have the tools to really last the long game against Rosinante. They stall out very early against us, or against most decks. They kind of like have the sugar or make you swing into their little chump searchers or whatever it may be, so it's kind of something we have to ignore the best we can and just go as much two-face as possible. We'll go grab the Flame Emperor off of the Ezo here. And then we'll just swing 6 here. Leave 1 up just to kind of feign that we have the Shut Up and Come With Us. They run Sanji's Pilaf. Actually, that's pretty decent, I would imagine. Great trigger to have. Unfortunate for us, though. They have a huge hand size. Holy moly. This is 9 cards in hand this early. And they have a baby 5 searcher. Oh, yeah. It's not looking so hot. We do have the Ace this next turn to apply some pressure. I feel like I just need to apply pressure to face here. But of course, if they do swing this baby 5, they might not want to swing with their leader. Oh, they don't even swing with their leader at all because they want to leave up. Well, actually, there's no reason not to, I suppose. Maybe they want to starve me a little bit. But they play out a Monet, which it's a blocker that says, on block, rest one of your opponent's characters at cost of 4 or less. So they could rest one of my searchers, and that's fine. They're probably wanting to rest it so that they can stop one of them from attacking the baby 5 next turn. And we'll go 6 and a 5 with the Rush Ace. They'll probably give us a 2k here. I don't think they'd want to go down to 2 life so early. But they know that I have a Flame Emperor, and so they probably want to keep the Monet on the field so that they can put a second blocker up this turn. So that way, if I KO one blocker, then the other blocker can stop the double attack from happening. We also have Ace as well, so if they do play out a second blocker, it might be worth just playing the Ace instead so that we can get an extra rush unit out on the field. This turn, I'm expecting a carrot to come down. Okay, we're fine. No carrot, a sugar instead. That's rather annoying, and there's the second blocker here. It is rather annoying that we cannot use the Flame Emperor as efficiently as we'd like, but let's see what we can do here. Let's go Dr. Correa into the baby 5. Sometimes they like to block. Like, they like to keep the baby 5 alive, either blocking with their leader or like a blocker like, oh my god, they actually did. That's insane. Okay, let's go ahead and swing Ace at the baby 5, see what they do here. Will they block it with their leader? Oh my gosh, they do. Insane. Let's Flame Emperor this Monet and get it off the field. And then I guess what we can do is potentially take them down to 0 life. Which is good for us because we want them to be down there as much as possible. That event just KO'd my Dr. Correa, not super relevant. I guess that they just want to keep their bodies on the field, which that's fair. But now they're at 0 life and they have to play defensively here. They cannot use their leader effect if I go for their board. But at this point, it doesn't really make sense for me to go for their board as much, simply because going for their board doesn't really get me further. I think going for face will answer, get more cards out of hand at the end of the day because they are at 0, so you need just one more hit to connect. They are on... How much Dawn now? Is that 8? 8 Dawn. Okay, so they might want to block her up again. If they block her up again, we're not in a great position. Yep, another Rosie blocker, or a Rosie blocker, not another one. They have another baby 5 though, and they're going to be searching out probably 2Ks, probably trying to get their hand as big as possible. They get a Rosinante from OPO 9. That's the one that we see on the field right now, the one that can restand if you attack. And it looks like they're just trying to like block her up as much as possible so that they can stop all of these attacks. Unfortunately, I don't have Fire Fist, and if I did draw into it, well, what can I do? 8 to 6, we'll have to let that go because I'm not going to dump my entire hand for this. I feel like it's better to not do that. Okay, so we get a Fire Fist, but we don't have, because we don't have another event to use it with, Let's search with the Dr. Crayon and see if we can get a shut up and come with us. We don't, but we get a blocker instead. It's actually not too bad, to be honest. What we'll do here is we'll go 5. We'll just go 5 at lead. I feel like 5 at lead's whatever, it's fine. It's not the best play, and then maybe we can just block her up, do 2 blockers ourselves, and then have them attack into our face. Yeah, I don't know. We're kind of like stalling out here because we don't have too many answers, too many options. 5 is not great, but if we swing really big, it just means we get 1 blocker out of the way. So let's go ahead and actually swing Robson instead. I was thinking blocker, but Robson might be a little bit better just to apply some pressure here. We got a counter out of hand, and maybe we can get a blocker. If they decide to play out a 10-drop, we could be in a little bit of trouble. If they decide to play out Kid, that might also be very problematic because if we're able to answer the Kid in some form or fashion, they have so many cards in hand, first off, but secondly, if we reduce the power of it and we KO it, they have a Rosie on the field. So that is a problem for me, at least, but we need to get one more event to even have that happen to begin with. So let's see what they do this turn. 10-drop, okay, 10-drop's really good for them. It only leaves a Dr. Correa up, and so maybe I'll swing the Dr. Correa. I don't quite know. I don't know if that's the best play. We do get, oh my gosh, we get an event here, so we can Fire Fist. It might be worth Fire Fisting, Shut Up and Come With Us, but Ace is maybe a little bit better here just to get a body on the board, and then maybe get this last blocker out of the way. We do have, I forgot about the Sugar. The Sugar will rest the Ace, but at least we'll get the Sugar off the field with the Dr. Creja. Maybe a slight misplay there. I forgot that the Sugar was there. That is quite the annoyance because it instantly rests whatever we play down. But at least this way we can get it off the field and put a blocker up and hope for the best. Yeah, that was a little bit of a blunder there. I feel like that we had some better options, to say the least. We could have done like Fire Fist to get rid of the Rosie and like a Sugar, and then at that point swing 9 at lead, but they do have quite a lot of cards in hand, so that would have just gotten cards out of their hand rather than probably winning the game, but we'll see at the end of the day how many cards they have. This next turn might be where they turn it back around on us, but who knows. Search with a baby 5 to get the 2K baby 5. Oh my gosh. Here is the Eustace Captain Kid, which means they'll be stalling the game out. Oh, with another Sugar. Oh, yeah. That is super annoying because now what happens is they swing at the Chopper blocker. I think I need to protect either the Chopper blocker or the Ace. So I'm going to protect the Chopper blocker because at least it has power reduction when it attacks. So we can at least reduce the power of the Kid here. We'll let the Ace go. We'll reduce the power of the Kid. Maybe swing like 5, reduce it by 3, so 5, or swing 7 into 5. So put 3 Dawn on. Swing 7 to 5, and then maybe they'll see if we can get it off the field. Of course, we have to worry about the Rosie as well. We're not looking too hot right now. We're kind of like in desperation mode. Maybe putting them down to 0 ultimately was a good thing, but they had so many resources now, and they're stalling the game out, which is just a Rosie thing. It's fine. We'll make it through, hopefully. Let's swing another 7. Maybe this one will get a block out of the way, and hopefully if it gets a block out of the way, we can go all in on the Kid. Or maybe we can just Fire Fist and then swing 6 at lead. But if they counter out here, I'm not quite sure because like the Rosie is going to be a nuisance. 2 and a 1. Wow, they have 3 cards left in hand. I think we just go ahead and use the Fire Fist and get rid of the Kid. But the Kid's actually not going to go away because Rosie, if it's simultaneously KO'd at the same time, it can just KO itself or trash itself. So we'll swing 6 into 5 and hope that this goes through. Oh, wow. It actually went through. We have a shot. We have a shot here. Oh, boy. Very interesting. Maybe their hand, at this point, they had 3 cards in hand and they let that 6 go through. Maybe means they don't have any 2Ks left. I mean, if I were the Rosie, protecting that last swing definitely means, you know, in my opinion, that's a victory. Because then at that point, like, what do? I can't really do too much. If they have another Kid as a backup, that's actually pretty solid. We'll see what they do, though. 5 in a lead. We'll take that one. We will take these for sure. We need more cards in hand. We need more resources. Rather than them, I'd probably get rid of this Chopper, though. I mean, I'd get rid of my board, but I don't think they are going for game. There's no way they can at least close out the game. Okay, going for Chopper means they're probably playing something down. Maybe another Kid. Maybe some blockers. Another Kid. How annoying. That is actually super annoying. Okay, so Kid, they play... Oh, I think they forgot to rest the Kid. They played this event from the last set where you can prevent your things from being KO'd. We're just going to go 15 at lead because they, you know, didn't rest their Kid. However, here's the thing. If they rested their Kid, I would go 7, I'd go 12 at the Kid. And then whatever would be left, I'd go put on Robson. So we'd put 7 on my leader. Swing 12 into 8. That KOs the Kid guaranteed. And then we'd have 3 left over to go 7 into lead. Let's see what they have in their hand. They had nothing in their hand. It didn't matter whether they rested the Kid or not. We would have been able to close that game out if they rested that Kid regardless. So even though they made a blunder, it worked out. Ooh, all right. Against Oden, I feel like this is a pretty solid opening here. We have a Flame Emperor for whatever they drop on 5. We have a Newgate combined with Crossfire, which will answer anything on 9. We have a Shut Up and Come With Us for when they attack us on their first turn. And we have a Fire Fist as like a backup in case we need it, but Fire Fist is probably not going to be used too often here, although they do have a couple Surgers on the field. But I wouldn't want to waste a Fire Fist on that. Let's swing 5, not give them any information here as far as like if we swing 7 and leave 1 up, what could it be, you know, kind of thing. So let's just swing 5, see if they give us anything, which they didn't, which is good for us. Here they use the Momo to search out EBO1 Ezo, pretty strong card here. And then of course we're going to use the Shut Up and Come With Us here, and we get a Chopper, the best hit we can possibly have. And we get a Chopper off of life. Man, we're cooking right now. Okay, so let's swing 5 into the Momo, get it off the field, and we get a Chopper blocker. That is once again our best hit here. We're going to swing 6 into lead. And we'll play out the other 3-cost Chopper, leave 1 up just to fake that we have an event. We get a Robson. This game, we're hitting everything. We had a couple of games where we were not hitting a single thing with our Choppers, but we have, we're 2 for 2 right now. We're sitting pretty. Of course, they go Hiyori, and then rest it with, you can be my Samurai, draw 2 cards. They have a lot of cards in hand. They have a great amount of counter power. Every card in their hand, I would imagine, because of their leader effect, being able to pitch a Land of Wano for 1k, I would imagine it's going to be a long, drawn-out game because of just how many cards they have here. Let's swing Robson into the Otama, just get it off the field. And then here, we don't have too many good options other than Flame Emperor just to answer the Ezo, so let's swing 8 into 6. Here we'll just get 2 cards out of hand, most likely. Yep, 2 cards out of hand. We'll swing the Chopper just to get something on the field. Another hit, so 3 for 3, and another Chopper here, and get a Robson, so 4 for 4. Wow. Can't believe it. Oh, look at our field. We have 5 bodies on the field right now. This is quite insane. This is the power of the 3-cost Chopper here. Next turn, we can actually just play out the Crossfire, Newgate, get rid of the Ryuma. I feel like that's probably our best bet. Let's not swing into the Ryuma, though, with any of our characters. Let's make sure that we at least swing in with either our lead, or maybe we can use the Crossfire Newgate to get the Ryuma off the field. Because Ryuma on play and KO will KO a rested 4-cost. Here I'm going to protect the Chopper because it's just great value for us. We'll go Crossfire, and I feel like I could just swing, but I want to not waste my effort here. Let's just put it on Hiking Bear, I suppose. It doesn't really matter because Hiking Bear or Robson's the same thing. But we'll not swing with any of our characters first because we don't want the Ryuma to KO any of these. Let's swing Hiking Bear, or maybe Robson, doesn't really matter, into the Otama. We'll swing 5 with the pumped up Robson, and then we'll swing another 5 with this Chopper. Will we be 5 for 5? We'll find out in a second. Of course, they're going to give us as many cards as possible here. We are 5 for 5. We have a Hiking Bear in there, but it doesn't make sense to play it out because we already have one on the field. So I think we'll just pass. And they have 1 life left, and we have, yet again, a full board. They'll go Hiyori, probably into an Ezo. That's usually their best bet here. Yeah, Ezo to put a Rested Dawn on their leader. Ezo is so strong. The fact that Ezo has a built-in kind of like 2k counter in its system, you just pitch a card and reduce the power of something by 2,000 power. It's just so good. This card is really strong. Unfortunately, it doesn't have counter, so I don't think it's run in like the Ace deck or maybe like, I don't know, any of the other decks that you would probably run it in because it's a dead card, but it's so good in Oden. And they play out a Yamato, I suppose, just to be able to do You Can Be My Samurai. Pretty good play here. I'm not going to be attacking into these bodies, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I will because one of them is 5,000 power. Actually, I could play out this Newgate. Pump up the hiking bear, I suppose. Once again, doesn't really super matter. We'll pump up the Robson. We'll KO. I guess I could have just swung, but I don't know. This is probably better here. 6, 6, 8. I feel like is probably our best bet. We are low on hand size, though, so that is a problem. We're just trying to get it out as many cards as possible here. 6, 6, 8. 8 might connect, but I doubt it will. We'll see. Okay, so they use the Ezo effect to reduce the new gate by 2,000 and then pitch a 1K. They pitched a Monkey D Dragon, which they might have a backup if they pitched one. Ooh, they do. What are they going to target here is the question. They put 2 on Ezo, 9 into new gate. Okay, so we'll counter this one. They'll go 9 into the other one. And then 7 into the Robson. Thankfully, they didn't go 8 because it didn't have any more counter. We'll go Flame Emperor just to get the Ezo off the field so they can't use the effect. We'll go 8 into 6. This might be a Rad Beam since they left 1 up. Yep. And then I feel like we could just go 6, 8. Just get 1 card out of hand and then swing 8. This is guaranteed to go through. They're at 0 life and we have a Rad Beam, but we're at 4, so the Rad Beam isn't even online at this point. Yeah, it was the amount of pressure we had based off of like our 7 Dawn turn there on after was insane because we had a full board for at least 2 turns. Enel has always really been a tough one for Ace to go against because of the fact that Enel just kind of like stalls out the game, and it's really bad for this build, I think, especially unless I can get a bunch of pressure on the board. We'll see. We'll see. I have a Shut Up and Come with us, but I'm not too hopeful that they'll swing into us. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll swing in once and then stop swinging past that point. Here is an opportunity, though, where I will swing into them and get them down to 1 life and then try to have a very wide board overall. Gonna swing 5. They'll likely take it. I could argue to play the Thatch just to take my life, but I kind of want to see how they play their first turn first. Because if they swing this first turn, that's really good for us. Because we can get a Shut Up and Come with us counter event going. Shirahoshi, and then they pass. Okay, well, we did draw into the chopper, which is great. We'll swing 5 first in case this is a KO trigger. I don't imagine where they would counter out, but maybe they will because they don't want to go down too low. Maybe they're a little bit suspicious of me attacking. They drop a Kuzan. Oh, that's so good for us because we immediately drop the 3-drop and then get a chopper off of it. Oh, that's so good. And because this chopper brings a rested unit out, it means that Enel will likely attack into the blocker chopper, and we can actually use our Shut Up and Come with us, finally. Maybe we'll get something good off of it. Maybe we won't. We passed up another 3-cost chopper, unfortunately, along the way. This looks like a Gidatsu play, so unlucky, but we get another blocker chopper, which is actually pretty good for us. It makes it a little bit awkward for them to decide what to KO. Personally, I'd KO the 3-cost 5,000 power chopper, but I understand a world where they would want to get rid of the blocker as well because it has a lot of good synergy with the deck. Not that they know what this deck is trying to do. We'll swing 5 first, get another blocker chopper. Let's go. Oh, we're getting all these blocker choppers out. It feels so good. Will they take it? Will they counter out? If they take it, I'm going to just pressure them. If they take it, I'm going to swing 5 again. Because here's the thing. Sometimes Enels will be like, oh, you're swinging, and my leader ability will reset my life. It's like, yeah, I know. I'm going to bring in some pressure this turn. I'm going to try to bring in this ace. And then we'll leave 2 open for the crossfire when they swing with the Gidatsu. Because I imagine they'll just give us a counter here. They'll probably give us a 2K. And that's the whole purpose here. They cycled, yes, but the thing is now, after they cycled, they have to give us a card or go down to 0. And they don't want to go down to 0 at 8 Dawn, because their only play would be a Katakuri, and that's not really a great play. It doesn't answer my board. It just makes them stay alive for 1 turn. 5 into 4, I'm going to give them a 2K. Keep this chopper alive. And then they go Gidatsu into the chopper. We're going to do a crossfire and prevent that from being KO'd. Katakuri. Ooh, okay. Katakuri will try to... Oh, they put the ace. Ooh, that's not it, guys. That is not the move because I can just use the ace effect here. We're going to swing chopper into lead, pressuring them, getting another blocker chopper. These choppers are getting insane value. A snap block. We love to see it. Here, I'm going to play crossfire on the Katakuri. I'm going to play out the Newgate, give 1 to the other ace, then KO the Katakuri because it's at 4,000 power. And we're going to swing 6 into the Gidatsu. Or 7 into 6 for the Gidatsu. That's a 2k counter at least. And then we'll pass the turn. We cleared their board the best we could. We have a very wide board. They're at 1 life. They could play a Yamato. They could play an ace this turn. Both of those are good options, but they don't have an answer to the 7-cost Newgate, which is a problem for them, especially with this ace coming down. We could also go, if they play like a Newgate, or sorry, if they play an ace of their own, a 10-cost ace, we could go 7-cost ace, Thatch, Newgate it, if the Newgate stays alive, of course, which it might. I think here we just keep this ace alive. Give them a 2k. Yeah, we're at 1 card in hand, but look at our board. The board is insane right now. What is their answer? They're thinking hard. They're like, how do I answer this board? It might be too pressured. Okay, so 6 into 4, we let that go. This is probably a Yamato play. If it's a Yamato play, it's actually pretty good for us. Let's see what they get rid of. I would get rid of the blocker chopper, but maybe they get rid of the 3-cost 5,000 power chopper because it is getting us so much value. I'm okay with that because that means this turn we can go ace, reduce the Yamato and the Gidatsu, put 2 on the chopper, swing into the Gidatsu, reduce the Yamato again, so it's down to 3,000 power, and then we can use the Newgate effect to KO the Yamato, swing 5 at lead, swing 7, swing 7. And now they have like nothing on the board, and we have 4 characters. They really only have 1 thing that they can play per turn, so the only thing that they realistically can play is either a Yamato or an ace. 10-cost ace is the worst thing for us to see. They get a Nami trigger, unlucky, but at least we swung with the chopper first before that. I'm assuming they're going to have to KO the chopper, because obviously if they try to do the ace, the 5-cost ace, we'll just use the effect. Oh, they pitched a 10-cost ace, which means they might have a backup one if they're getting rid of that one. But they have 4 cards in hand, which we love to see. I don't even care that I'm at 1 card in hand. I have 5 life. I'm not dying anytime soon, and we need to apply as much pressure as possible. They let that go, which means they only have 3 options to survive. And it's the best one. They got they got the 10-cost ace. They can't swing their leader into anything here, which is fine, but we can go back-to-back here. What we can do is swing 7 at lead, maybe do a bunch of 7s, and just see if they give us 2Ks. They'll probably counter out of this first one, I would imagine. Okay, yeah, they give us a 0-cost event. That's really good for us. Let's swing 7 at lead again. If they take this, we'll swing 7 with our leader, so that just in case it is a beige, it cannot stop the 7-cost coming down this turn because it's not on the field. 7 at lead. They're probably scared here. They counter out. 2 and a 1. Let's do our ace, get it down to 3, swing 7 into 7. Either this last card is a counter or it is a dead card. Usually it's a dead card, and it was. So now we have a full board, a 2k counter in hand. They have nothing on their side. I feel like we're in a pretty good spot. Of course, if that last card is a dead card in hand, it's usually like a Yamato or an ace or... Ooh, okay. 9 into 7, that will go through. Raigo. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Raigo, my ace, that's unlucky, but it is what it is. We'll play out this Newgate here, or we'll grab the Newgate first. Let's swing with this. Let's swing with our lead first, just to get maybe the 1 card out of hand, see what they do. We'll swing 7 at lead, and then we'll KO this Flampe. So they have nothing to put back in life if it's a Katakuri in hand. Either they have like an ace, a rush ace. This is really intense. Oh, Yamato. Okay. That's unlucky for us because that means that they actually can get rid of this 5-cost ace. We'll see what we do. I'm swinging with this Izo, by the way. I'm 100% swinging with this Izo. Let's go 7. I want to play the Dr. Kreha, but I'm going to play it in a second. Let's swing 7 with the Izo first. We can swing 8 with our Newgate next. What trigger is it? Okay, so it's a beige to stop the Newgate from attacking. That's fine. That's actually fine. They have 1 card in hand. Maybe we can get a chopper, a 3-cost chopper off of the Kreha, so let's go ahead and see. We do get a chopper. That's good for us. Let's swing 6 into lead and then play the chopper out next and see what we get off of it. And we get a Robson. Cool. That's awesome. Now we have a wide board yet again, and they can only heal. They can either do Yamato or a 10-cost ace, and they didn't have either. We played it very well, but it was very scary for a little while. All right, Purple Luffy's going to be an interesting one. We need to find our 3-cost chopper for as much value as possible. Here, we'll go ahead and grab a 5-cost ace with the Ezo Searcher. We're kind of cosplaying as a Whitebeard Pirates deck right now. We'll go ahead and play the chopper out. This next turn, we have an option of playing out the 5-cost ace, but we also don't have to. Just depends. Oh my gosh. We got exactly what we needed off of life here. If they play out, okay, so they played a kid. I was going to say if they play out like a blocker of some sort, then we 100% play this chopper. We swing 6 into lead, and then we'll play out this chopper and see if we can get some value off of it. Hiking Bear is great. I don't think they're going to really do anything about Hiking Bear. They're probably going to ignore it and just swing face. That's probably the best bet here. Playing out a Zoro Juro, so they don't have the Luffy Taro. That is, I mean, they got it off of the Zoro Juro, but that is rather unfortunate here. We'll just take the 7. And this turn, we're just going to swing the chopper because we're trying to bait out this block from the kid. Because if we can bait out the block from the kid, then we play out the 7-cost rush ace and then swing into it. Otherwise, if they don't, so we're just going to play out this 7-cost Newgate. I was going to say, if they don't block here, then we just play out the Newgate, and then I think we just pass the turn. Because that way we can set up the following turn with a 7-cost rush ace and maybe KO something that's a little bit bigger. So if they do play the Luffy Taro this turn, we have the option of doing the 7-cost ace option, which is really good for us. So they swing 6 into lead. I think we just counter out of this one. I don't want to go down to 2 quite yet. We have a lot of cards in hand as well. They swing 7 into lead. Oh, they go 7 into the chopper. Okay, so I'm going to actually protect this because this chopper is really annoying for the Luffy and they want to get rid of it. So we're just going to block it because I don't want to give them 2 more cards. And this is great for us because we're going to go 7. We're going to reduce the Sangoro. We're going to reduce the other Zorojuro. We're going to pop the Sangoro so they don't get the card draw for the future. We're going to go 4 into 3. They'll probably let this one go. Here, I'm just going to go 5 into lead. I might go like 6 into lead. I'm just going to ignore the kid blocker. I don't want to swing into it. I think it's better just swing face. We actually whiff, that's fine. Our board is full anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We'll go 7 into lead. They'll probably give us a Gum Gum Giant because they have 1 open. Yep, Gum Gum Giant. The card's so broken. That's like the best card in the game. At least, I don't know. Maybe I'm overhyping it up, but that card is just so strong. Okay, so 9-cost Luffy. Eesh, that's like the worst thing we can see here. So they didn't have the perfect purple curve, but they definitely at least came back from behind. Here they go 8 into 5 with into the chopper, let it go. If they go into our Newgate, we're going to save it. We're going to give them a Brad Beam plus a 1k counter, the ace thing that they know we have. They might swing with the kid. Ooh, that's really ambitious here. Okay, we get a Flame Emperor, but we're not going to use it. What we're going to do instead is we're going to swing 7 with the 7-cost ace. We're going to swing 8 with the Newgate and hopefully get this giant out of their hand. Because I'm assuming that's why they left 1 up. And this is why, you do these attacks first because the 8 into 5 is an easy and clean Gum Gum Giant. And now we hit him with the Flame Emperor. And now we go 8 again. Actually, let's pitch our Fire Fist because we're not going to be using it. So we'll go 9 into 5. It means 3 cards from hand or take 2 life. Then we'll play out this chopper blocker and then pass the turn. They have the opportunity to go for game if they have like something to rest this chopper. But let's see what they do. Ooh, they rest it with the Usohachi. They might actually have game here unless we have a trigger or something. 7 into lead. Flame Emperor. Oh my god, that's insane. Okay, that actually saved us the game right there. It KO'd the kid. Maybe if they swung with the kid first, that would have been better, but you never know. You just never know, right? That's actually 2 Flame Emperors in a row in my life. That is incredibly lucky. I feel like I would have lost if that was not a Flame Emperor for sure. Oh my gosh. What what a trigger. I feel like I'm playing yellow, man. That's insane. That is actually insane. 11 into 8. Yeah, let it go. And then here we'll just go 5 lead, 5 with the blocker chopper, and then the rest on the ace. Just to get their hand size a little bit lower. They have 2 open, which means they might have Gum Gum Giants. They've already played 2, but I don't know if they have another one. It doesn't look like they do. Oh my gosh. Flame Emperor for the win. We got incredibly lucky, but we did apply quite a lot of pressure against Purple Luffy. I feel like this deck is pretty solid overall. I'm actually quite happy with how this deck list turned out. I used to play a lot of Ace back in OPO3 before the ban list came and hit a lot of red cards, but I haven't really tinkered with this leader quite since then. And usually, like, I would probably lean more towards Whitebeard package, but I feel like, you know, there's something good with the animal package overall. It's really strong. The fact that you get such good value for just swinging with bodies is, you can't ask for more, really. I feel like this deck list probably could use a little bit of improvement. I have to say, where I might want to change a couple of things, if I were to change some things, would be the 8-cost Rayleigh. I feel like 8-cost Rayleigh is almost a must in an Ace deck, but I was finding issues putting it in, but also finding like a place to really make the animal package like stand out as well. So the 8-cost Rayleigh would be something I would try to put in as well. But the other thing is the 10-cost Goldie Roger is also something you would want to consider to put into the deck list, because it is just a de facto win for most red decks. And with Ace being a red deck that puts you down to 0 with like the Flame Emperors, and then you can follow up with the 10-cost Goldie Roger, I feel like it's probably a must. But I don't know if there's much room, because you do want to have as much searchability for your Whitebeard Pirates with the Ezo. You do want to have searchability with Kureha for your animals. It doesn't really allow for Rayleigh or 10-cost Goldie Roger to really fit in, but if I were to switch it up, I would try to fit those in if I could. Otherwise, deck list feels really solid, and hopefully some people tinker around with it and maybe improve on it from where I've taken it at least. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching as always. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.